Most people think they already know Lionel Richie's story. They remember the headlines from 1988, see the legendary singer today with a much younger partner, and assume they already understand how everything unfolded. But the full picture is far more complex. Behind the public image lies a journey filled with heartbreak, medical struggles, and personal reinvention. His 2025 memoir offered new insight into one of the most talked about moments of his life, while later interviews revealed a health battle that nearly ended the career of one of music's greatest voices. For decades, the events surrounding Lionel Richie's first marriage were often reduced to a single dramatic headline. The public narrative focused on the confrontation involving Brenda Harvey and Diane Alexander, leaving many to believe that one explosive incident destroyed an otherwise healthy marriage. Richie, however, says the reality was much different. In his memoir, he explains that his marriage had already broken down long before the famous confrontation became front-page news. According to Richie, he and Brenda Harvey had already separated before the incident that captured worldwide attention. During that difficult period, he retreated to a beach house, hoping to escape the relentless pressure of fame and gain some emotional distance from a relationship that had already reached its end. That detail changes the way many people view the timeline. Instead of a marriage ending in one dramatic night, Richie describes a relationship that had been quietly falling apart long before the public became aware of its struggles. Even so, June 30th, 1988 became the defining date in the public's memory. Reports centered on a confrontation at a Beverly Hills residence involving Richie, Brenda Harvey, and Diane Alexander. Police records show that Harvey was arrested on charges including corporal injury to a spouse, battery, and resisting arrest before later being released on bail. While those legal facts remain part of the historical record, Richie's memoir adds personal context that the public did not have at the time. He describes a man trying to cope with the collapse of his private life while continuing to perform at the highest level professionally. As audiences filled arenas and his music dominated the charts, Richie says he was privately struggling to hold his life together. The beach house, in his telling, was not simply a luxury retreat but a place where he hoped to find peace during one of the most painful periods of his life. Whether readers agree with every aspect of his recollection or not, it offers a more complete picture of the emotional circumstances surrounding one of Hollywood's most public relationship scandals. Yet the challenges did not end when the headlines faded. During the 1990s, Richie faced another crisis, this time involving the very instrument that had made him famous. His voice began to fail. For a singer whose entire identity was built around performing, the experience was terrifying. Doctors recommended surgery, believing they could solve the problem. One procedure became 2, then 3, and eventually 4 throat surgeries over the course of several years. Despite those operations, his voice continued to deteriorate. Each recovery brought hope, but every return to singing ended with the same troubling symptoms. In later interviews, Richie admitted there were moments when he genuinely believed his performing career might be over. The fear wasn't simply about losing his voice. It was about losing the life he had spent decades building. Eventually, Richie sought another opinion. According to his own account, a physician who looked beyond his throat considered his overall health and identified a different explanation. Rather than a rare vocal disorder, the underlying issue was severe acid reflux. Night after night, stomach acid was irritating his throat and vocal cords, creating inflammation that affected his ability to sing. Once the source of the problem was identified, Richie changed his diet, adjusted his eating habits, and focused on managing the reflux instead of undergoing additional procedures. Looking back, he has said that discovering the true cause transformed his understanding of what had happened. The surgeries, pain, and uncertainty had all been real, but addressing the underlying condition finally allowed him to regain control of his health. The experience also changed the way Richie approached his daily life. Years of non-stop work, emotional stress, and an exhausting schedule had taken a significant toll. As he rebuilt both his health and his personal life, another important chapter began. When Lisa Parigi entered Richie's life, many people focused only on the age difference between them. Headlines often overlooked her own accomplishments. Far from simply accompanying a music legend, Parigi had already established herself as a successful entrepreneur. Born in Switzerland with Caribbean, Swiss, and Chinese heritage, she built an international business career and became known for leading lifestyle and beauty ventures while working across multiple languages and markets. Richie has spoken publicly about the role she plays in his life, emphasizing that what matters most is not appearances, but her intelligence and ability to help him manage the demands of an extraordinary career. In interviews, He has described her as someone who brings stability and perspective to a life that was once defined by constant pressure and chaos. That support became especially meaningful as Richie continued touring into his late 70s. Even after decades of success, he remained committed to performing for fans around the world. But maintaining that pace became increasingly demanding. During a concert in St. Paul, Minnesota, in June 2026, Richie experienced dizziness while performing and had to remain seated for part of the show. The incident reminded audiences that even legendary performers face the realities of aging. Tour dates were subsequently adjusted, highlighting the importance of prioritizing health while continuing a demanding career. For many artists, retirement might seem like the obvious choice after reaching such extraordinary success. Yet Richie has often explained that performing remains one of the greatest joys of his life. Even so, the challenges of balancing ambition with physical well-being have become increasingly apparent. Today, Lionel Richie's story is about much more than chart-topping songs or celebrity headlines. It is the story of a man who endured public heartbreak, overcame years of frightening health challenges, adapted to the realities of aging, and found renewed stability in both his personal and professional life. His journey serves as a reminder that public perception rarely tells the whole story. Behind every headline is a more complicated human experience, one filled with mistakes, resilience, growth, and the determination to keep moving forward. After decades of defining romance through his music, Lionel Richie continues to show that some of life's most meaningful chapters begin long after the spotlight first finds you.